Successful marketing today requires powerful ideas and unprecedented collaboration. On October 3rd, Nick Bryan issued this call to action to his World Group team. McCann World Group is now ready to leap forward with a velocity to propel us far beyond our closest competition. On October 4th, a day later, in Miami, McCann World Group buckled up and took off. Led by Pat Lafferty, the GBC2H Summit in Miami was all about growth and included representatives of World Group brands from American Airlines to Nespresso to GM to MasterCard to Johnson & Johnson and many others. They met for 3 intensive days of brainstorming to address Nick Bryan's challenge. And they weren't alone. Joining them were a roster of experts. From the client side, Johan Jervo from Intel.
I think it's actually probably one question in here is what do you expect from your agencies? Well, partners, right? One. Secondarily, how do you get to great creative? And I do believe that once we get a relationship right and it's sort of, you've been there, it's clocking away. One piece of creative is just better than the next. One insight just leads to the next piece, and that's why we're here.
Jeremy Kaplan from Appraise.
So, it is possible to make the client-agency relationship truly a partnership. It is possible to drive continuous improvements and performance in the ways of working, and better satisfaction with your agencies that drives retention. We actually actively recommend 6 monthly evaluations.
Branded content opportunities are vital for growth. The summit heard from Universal Music, the biggest music business in the world.
I'm the Vice President of Music for Advertising, so my daily activities are working with ad agencies and music supervisors trying to find songs that'll work in commercials. But we all realize that music can be very integral to a campaign, and if we're brought in early, we could really help.
And music from up-and-coming artist Kevin Hammond was a great example of how partnerships with artists can work.
So that you move. Thank you.
And also from the world of television with the Food Network.
Big fan of what they've been able to do from a content standpoint, first and foremost with their brand, and expanding it in really interesting and some pretty, I think, courageous ways. And secondly, how they're doing that with brands, with agency people like yourself, like with our clients, in very interesting ways.
McCann World Group is leading the work on privacy in the marketing industry. Laura Simpson, Global IQ Director, told the truth about privacy in the modern world.
Technology is everything and everywhere. When we ask people for spontaneous associations with privacy in the focus groups, all of the first things they say relate to technology, whether it's mobile, GPS, social networking. It's absolutely on the tip of their tongue, so they know that this is the thing that's fundamentally changing those privacy norms.
And what better way to achieve growth than by learning from the best in the business? Management consultants McKinsey shared their lessons. Mary Ellen Coe, principal from McKinsey.
The concept of more distributed marketing really requires that the CMO play a much more integral role in the overall organization. Now, how does this happen? This doesn't happen without the CEO's support. At least if the executive team is having a dialogue about it, there's an awareness, and a lot of what we're seeing is it happens ad hoc. It may not be a system that's very fluid and happening, you know, like it should, but it's happening in an ad hoc manner.
In a nod to the successful TED Talks format, Pat Lafferty introduced the concept of 8-minute masters. 8 minutes to present your best ideas to the group. And it worked.
There's a very, very clear correlation amongst car enthusiasts. If they know that Mobil One is involved in the sponsorship of the things they love, which is fast cars, their attitude to the brand and their predisposition to purchase doubles.
We put the backpacks and the cameras on the folks and now built this model where we have a website platform. They're able to upload content. They're able to access their content, map their content, and we believe we can start to build out this experience beyond just a consumer experience, but take it educational, take it right down into the retail environment.
I think this is a story about our ability to transform very quickly and very pragmatically. So when I look at MasterCard, Pedro right now, who runs MasterCard in Europe, we are literally going to transform the way we architect the structure of the business and the way we go to market with them, which is going to be a big undertaking.
Then the group broke into teams to review what they'd all been thinking, with some advice from Daryl about setting up a growth strategy for 2012.
I want us to go in always with a point of view, and to have a point of view that is framed by a very clear mission, which is we are going to be the people. Yes, we transform in brands and businesses, but how we do that is by understanding how to create brand experiences in the age of technology.
The communications themselves are a critical part of modernizing the brand imagery.
We own that IP afterwards, but it's a competition.
We can also save them a ton of money by consolidating content.
And a session on getting to great creative with Matt Werman and Shavo D'Amelio.
First of all, the idea for work with Coke in this project was, I think that what was most important is not what the creative ideas that we bring them, instead of what idea we can have to work with them.
Each of the 4 breakout sessions was given a different discipline to focus their creative minds on.
In many Asian countries, the life experience over the last 20-25 years has been so dynamic that they have no comprehension of anything but continued growth.
We worked with the Nestle brand in terms of Nespresso, and we drove a lot of acquisition through doing it largely through the call centers.
You keep on seeing these numbers for like YouTube and Facebook and whatnot. Just the scale and the speed at which they've grown is really unbelievable.
Everyone has an inner talent, a strength, and we're able to cultivate that strength and apply it to a job in the Army.
By day 3, a lot of new ideas had emerged. Ann Lockoff and Pedro Pina talked about optimizing relationships with local markets.
Everyone has said, I don't really understand how Asia is divided. How does it actually work? Who do I contact? My regions are all different. You can't lump us all together. We're so different, and we've got to have an approach to actually deal with this and deal with the multiple needs of hubbing that our clients actually want from us.
Finally, Pat Lafferty summed it all up.
You are the GBC, and anything the good that comes out of this is because you're doing it. So take a moment to feel good about that before we tighten our belt and charge into the future.
Focused, McCann World Group leaves Miami prepared not just to face the future, but to own it. As Nick Bryan put it, I genuinely believe there is no other organization with the global heritage, geographic reach, discipline breadth, and collective genius that we offer as a brand-building partner to many of the most sophisticated and famous marketers in the world. And that collective genius begins with the connections made here over 3 days in Miami.